Welcome to SantosBrosEat, food worth mentioning.
Where Chef Jeff and his brother Kenny talk about their amazing adventures eating and tasting food that is so incredible, they have got to just share it with the world.
My mouth is salivating already.
Welcome everyone to season 2 of Santos Brothers Eats. I'm Kenny Santos, and this is the show where me and my brother Chef Jeff Santos. Jeff, how are we doing today?
Good. And yourself?
Doing very well. It's where we talk about food that we love to eat, food worth mentioning. And since this is the opening episode of season 2, we decided to do something special. We decided to talk about our favorite foods from season 1. So Jeff and I, we each picked our top 3 favorite foods from season 1. And how do we want to do this, Jeff? Do we want to kind of both do our third, or should we do one of us first, or what do we want to do here?
Let's do one and one. Take turns doing one each.
Okay.
Mine aren't really ranked per se, but yeah. Let's do it that way.
Okay, so they're not ranked. Okay, yeah, so they're just amongst our top 3. So in no particular order. And by the way, you know what? Before we get into the content, if you're getting value, if you're having fun listening to our podcast, then I invite you to do something super simple. This is something that will help us out. I invite you to either like, subscribe, share, and comment, because that's the way we get our podcast promoted. And it's a very simple way and easy way and a free way for you to support our podcast. So, so why don't we talk about, in no particular order, what's one of your favorite foods from season 1?
Episode 28, Frites Alors. It's when myself and Diana went to Quebec City. And we had authentic Quebecois poutine. It's just one of those things. It was just basically a small little shop on a side street. We did a lot of research on where to find good poutine, and this is one of the top 3 according to Quebec people. Again, it was a small little shop. We're still doing the pandemic, so it wasn't we couldn't eat in. It was just takeout only. But yeah, the potatoes were freshly cut potatoes, authentic cheese curds. The gravy was delicious. They have a huge variety of different flavors of poutine. The one we got was called I forgot what it was called, but it was basically the traditional one. We had to get one of those, and then the other one we got had a little bit of bacon and lardons on it. So a lot of fatty bacon inside. But yeah, authentic Quebecois poutine. That was probably my number 3 for me.
That's so fun. A nice fatty bacon. Doesn't that sound just so good when you're talking about poutine? Right?
Yeah.
Just, it has some fatty bacon. Like, oh wow.
Exactly.
Like, not just bacon, fatty bacon.
Fatty bacon. That's what you need,
That's exactly it. That sounds so good. And so that's at Frites Alors. That's outside of Quebec City. Is that where that is?
That is correct. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So I remember that episode, and they have dozens, well, maybe not dozens, half a dozen to a dozen different styles of poutine. And all these different flavors. Sounds so good. So glad I didn't expect you to pick that one. I was wondering what you'd pick, so that one came as a surprise. Since we're on the topic of like fries and the poutine, I'll tell you my number 3, and I'm gonna go with episode 18. This is George's Greek Grill, and this is the wow fries. So wow fries are really similar, I would imagine, to you. What might find is what a lot of restaurants are doing for Taste of the Danforth. They, since the popularity of poutine, they made the Greek fries, which is basically fries with some feta cheese and some maybe tzatziki or some Greek dressing. That's what these wow fries tasted like. And I remember when we had that come by DoorDash, and we picked up the food. And I remember I was with your son, Dylan.
That's right.
And by the time it came in, I was just kind of closing up the door. And by the time I came back, he had just said, my goodness, he said, these fries are bloody amazing. And so I was like, wow, I haven't tried anything yet. And he just said they're amazing. And when I did try them, they were amazing. We were wondering what they were. We're just called wow fries. And but we tried them. So good. Just the mixture of that feta cheese, which is nice and real, just that extra salt with the sweetness. I think there must have been some red onion in there that made it nice and sweet, and of course that Greek dressing. It was very, very good, and I'm glad that we had that. Yeah. And they were very generous with the feta cheese and the sauce that came on it.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. I remember this episode too. I remember you said the portions were very generous from George's.
Oh yeah. It was those fries. It was like getting a thing of poutine. It was like $10. It was enormous. So and you'd be very satisfied if that's all you had. If you had that and like a pita sandwich sort of thing or a wrap or something. Oh man,
right.
Very, very full. So
nice.
Very tasty. So yeah, that's my my number 3. Since you went first for your for your number 3, I'll go first for my second.
Yeah.
So
do it.
Second choice, and this one kind of came out of I was pleasantly surprised, like just the moment I had it. And this is episode 20 from the Fried Chicken Festival. And it is Dope as Duck's Fried Chicken.
Okay.
And I don't know if you remember, like I was just ranting and raving.
Yep.
The very moment I bit into this, it's so crispy and so tasty. And we're, it's actually probably the best fried chicken I've ever had. And I remember giving it a 9.9 out of 10. I would have given it a 10 if it was just like had a sweet sauce with it.
Yeah.
But that's as close to a 10 as I can give it. And everything about it, it was more, I remember it was white chicken breast, but it was still so juicy. And everything about it, from the skin to the way it was cooked, everything was so, so good. And I would get that again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you're right. It is white. There was a white breast meat, and usually that's dry and not one of our favorites. But the way that Raymond, he's a friend of ours, did it, everything was just so tender and so juicy and so delicious. Like every piece of it was just amazing. Yeah,
so happy that I got that. And speaking of Raymond, he was showcased once again yesterday. I just saw it on BlogTO for his mac and cheese.
That's right.
Did you see that as well?
I did. Actually, one of our coworkers who's helped him, who's a good friend of his, posted it on our work emails. And I said, "Oh, right, Raymond, good for you."
Yeah, so he won a competition for mac and cheese. I think it was in 2018. And we talked about it before. And there's a reason why. Like his mac and cheese, I know that we're supposed to be talking about his chicken, but his mac and cheese, it's basically, he has very, very good mac and cheese, and then you put on whatever meat, and usually has a brisket going or a pulled pork or a bacon or even a jerk chicken. Any one of those toppings is so good with his mac and cheese. There's a reason why he won an award. So if you have a chance to try the Dope as Duck, you get the fried chicken and get the mac and cheese. That's what I say, at least. Yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah. Go Raymond. Yes, go Raymond. Yeah. What about you, Jeff? All right. So I actually, I also, for my second one, I actually did all the Street Eats festivals. Nice. So that includes episode 20 and episode 19, the mac and cheese and fried chicken festival. I sort of looped them into one because I think the Street Eats festival was just a great opportunity for us to taste different foods that we normally eat. And because you were an ambassador, or was it a tasting judge? Yeah, I was a judge. For the mac and cheese, you were able to taste each truck's mac and cheese. They were very generous with the portions as well. That allowed myself and Diana to also grab something from you as well, just to get a portion. Basically, we tried every mac and cheese I was able to have. That's right. I may have missed one truck, but that's it. And it was so good. That was it. Great experience. And again, the fried chicken festival was great, including Raymond's fried chicken was the one with the ice cream, which was so delicious as well. That was a good combination. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Tokyo Hot. Yeah, the Nashville Ice. That was such a good sandwich. Oh yeah. That's right, and it was really hot. Like it was extremely hot. That neither like myself, Ken, Diana, or my son Dylan could finish it. We were just like, oh my god, so hot. This one's so hot for us. And shout out to Tokyo Hot. They actually sent us something saying, next time you're able to come down to their brick and mortar place, just let us know, and we'll serve you some chicken that's not as hot, that like on a level down, that something more tolerable, that we can enjoy it. And we still haven't claimed it yet, but we will soon. We promise you. Yeah, basically they invited us over for a free meal and we will take them up on it. And if you look at their Instagram profiles, they are really doing some fun stuff. So whoever's running their Instagram doing such an awesome job, because it makes me want to go visit them. It's just so good. Yeah.
Yeah, like Dopos Ducks Instagram is really popping up too, and Tokyo Hot. Yeah.
Oh, so you know what? Everyone's, because even Street Eats Instagram is very, very good. So yeah, whoever's doing that over there, they're doing such an awesome job. So that's a great pick for number 2. It's your turn to go first. So what's your last on the list?
My last one. So I know I had so many to go through. I had Kanto. I wanted to do them, but we've had Kanto so much and Filipino. Jollibee is all right. No, sorry, not all right, but we've had it so much. The reason I chose my first one because it's so unique. I chose episode 29, Moobies.
Wow.
Just because I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, and a lot of times when they sort of bring out something that's fake, like, so Moobies is a fake restaurant in the View Askew universe, and when they try to make something that's not real into the real world, they usually just get like a cookie cutter burger or cookie cutter fried chicken and say, hey, this is the Moobies brand. Or I'm trying to remember another sort of fake restaurant that came about, or maybe like in Harry Potter and Universal Studios, they had butterbeer.
Yeah.
Something like that. But because Universal Studios, that they could really amp it. So I chose Moobies just because how delicious it was. They actually took the Carbon Bar, which we're assuming it is, the Carbon Bar food, and they gave us the fried chicken sandwich, which was just amazing. The brisket sandwich, which is also delicious. And everything that from it, the onion rings, the pickle chips, the whole Moobies meal was just delicious. And the experience of Moobies itself, like they had the little lunchbox, the actual place where we picked it up from, had like memorabilia from the View Askew universe. They had the "We Assure You We're Open." We talked about that in episode 29. So my topic was Moobies, just because the overall experience of the food and the experience of going there to pick it up.
Wow, I was not expecting that, but I will tell you, if you guys go back and listen to that episode 29, if you listen to that again, I do recall raving about their brisket sandwich.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we're assuming that's the Carbon Bar's espresso brisket.
Oh, and one thing I added to our Instagram post on the 29th, they actually are still available through DoorDash.
Moobies is?
Yeah. So even though the actual facade is gone, you can still order it. I believe it's still available. Through Skip the Dishes.
Hey, that's
so
good.
You can do Moobies to do, because like we said, it is the Carbon Bar food. We're assuming it is. So they just they still put it under Skip the Dishes.
That's so good. So yeah, you could still order. I remember we said, well, you can't get it anymore. And if you want to try that brisket sandwich, I'm assuming that would be available on Skip the Dishes or wherever it's available. Definitely check it out. And I'd be very surprised if you don't enjoy that. And just like Jeff said before, often when we take like food that's like from a fake universe, like Kevin Smith's Moobies, and bring it to the real life, a lot of people, or a lot of producers, they might just be happy of putting the logo on and putting it on some mediocre food, but they didn't do that. They actually made some quality food, and it shows. And there's a reason why I love that brisket sandwich so much. And like I said, I'd be very surprised if you don't like it as well.
Oh yeah. All right, so Ken's number one. Go.
So this is my number one, and this one might take you a little bit. It actually takes me by surprise. The whole thing took me by surprise. It's episode 11. It is Tata's Hot Sauce Emporium. It is the Tata's Jerk Chicken Sandwich. And here's the reason why it might be surprising, is because I don't really like jerk chicken that much. It's not something that I would normally order. Have you ever seen me order jerk chicken? It's rare.
I haven't. You're right. Yeah, when we go for East Indian or West Indian food, we usually go for the roti or the oxtail.
Yeah.
Jerk
but
chicken.
Even like the roti, like I don't have jerk chicken roti or anything like that. Usually a goat or something like that. And I'll tell you, there's different types of foods out there that when they're good, you either start talking about them like with your friends or something. It's like, oh, this tastes so good. And then there's other foods that are so good that everyone is just quiet and they're just enjoying the food. And I'm going to have to give that to Tata's jerk chicken sandwich. I was alone when I had it, but I remember I took it. I could smell it. I was excited to eat it. And I remember I went back to the car and I just sat there and I just was quiet while I ate this sandwich. And I just completely devoured it. It was so juicy. And again, I'm not a big, huge fan of jerk chicken, but it tasted so good. Everything about it. I remember the textures about it, you know, all the fresh veg from the tomatoes and everything and the lettuce all mixed in, and their awesome hot sauce. That's what they're known for.
That's right.
Totally recommend that. And I was very, very happy with that. So, yeah.
So it's jerk chicken and then a beef patty as well?
Yes.
And then lettuce, because I'm looking at the picture and I was looking at it. Okay.
Yeah, jerk chicken and a beef patty and lettuce, tomato, and I don't know if there's mayonnaise or whatever's on the bun. It was just so good. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got to ask you, Jeff, like, you know, you mentioned that there's so many others. Do you want to throw in like kind of like a runner up?
Wow, there's just so many. The reason why we do the podcast is we love food, we love to eat. There's some restaurants we've been to and we're just like, that is okay. So in this podcast, I think everything else is a runner-up for me. You know, maybe for me it would be the C&E foods. Again, because it's the variety. In one day or one weekend, if you go to the C&E when it's open, we have an opportunity to buy different foods. Not all at once, but we can space ourselves out, like, because we're there for the most of the day anyway. So we'll go in there and like maybe mid-morning and grab a light snack. And then by lunchtime, we'll get lunch and it'll be like maybe the pig ear sandwich or the bug dog, and we could share it with whoever we're with. And then by mid-afternoon, we might go for like maybe the bacon cinnamon roll or the pork one. And then at night, you know, we might find pizza on a stick, you know, something, you know, that allows us to eat as much as we can at one time, you know. I think that's my runner up, only because just the variety at one time in one place.
That is such a good choice for runner-up, because it is a great variety, and it's something that we look forward to. I mean, last year we missed out just simply because of the lockdown, but it is something that we look forward to, and we actually have our wish list when we go. And it's actually kind of like how this podcast started, if you think about it, Jeff. Is that I remember when we first had our deep fried butter from that stand.
That is it.
We had like the Grand Slam, and actually that's under Epic Food Day. I think 2000. I don't know. It was Epic Food Day one of these days. You can see it on our YouTube channel. And it's also episode
16 on our Must Eat Foods Part 1.
Yes.
Yeah, C&E Foods.
Yeah, C&E Foods. So good. Great memories, and we're looking forward to going back. Hopefully things are under control this year so that I can come back. Yeah.
And how about yourself? So what's your runner-up?
So as far as my runner-up, I'm going to go with episode 2. And it's
oh, wow.
Episode 2 is SanRemo. Yeah, we did SanRemo along with Burgers Priest in episode 2. And it was their strawberry shortcake. Do you remember me talking about that on the podcast?
I do, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that cake was so good. It was so moist. And I'm not like some super fan of strawberry shortcake at all. So it was I got blindsided by this. I remember when I had this, I just thought it was so delicious. Everything about it. I think it's because the cake got to sit for a little bit. You know, sometimes you get a fresh cake, but just the way that the cream kind of soaked a little bit and the juices from the strawberries that all got to soak just a little bit, just to moisten up the cake that was already moist. It just moistened it up just a little bit more. Everything about that cake was so good. And if I remember correctly, from SanRemo's Instagram, they're closed right now, right, Jeff?
Yeah, they are closed. Unfortunately, they had a few cases of COVID, including their father. So our best to their father, Mr. Bozo. That is their last name. And we hope all the best for him and his family.
Yeah. So, of course, SantosBrosEat, we do send to the entire to everyone, of course, that's suffering from the pandemic, but of course, special prayers to Mr. Bozo, the part of the family over at SanRemo's. Is it Deli and Cafe or SanRemo's? What is it called? I can't remember.
It's called SanRemo's Authentic Italian tradition, bakery and cafe. We'll go with
bakery
that.
and cafe.
Yeah.
So they're closed. I mean, they do have an opening date, but they're at least
February. Early February.
Okay, yeah, they're close. We record this on the 25th. You probably won't hear this till later on in the week, but yeah, that cake. Actually, everything out of there is so good. Yeah, there's awesome donuts, and I'm sure you've had their hot food, like their entrees and stuff. But
yeah, I remember one time I got their beef ribs. They offer them every Saturday afternoon, and it is delicious. It is delicious.
So good to hear. So those are our top threes, plus a little bit of extras for some of our runner-ups. But just like Jeff said, all of the foods that we talk about, like, with the foods that we rarely come up on our podcast and talk about a food that we kind of didn't like, or mediocre. It's not worth our time, and it's not worth your time to listen to. So we're not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the foods that we love, and it's just about every single episode. So if you haven't listened to all of them, we invite you to go back. What are you looking forward to trying this year that we haven't had a chance to eat yet, Jeff?
Oh my goodness, honest, I'm not too sure. To be honest, it's like BlogTO. We'll just look see what BlogTO or our city has coming up, and then we'll just gravitate there to any articles we see and anything new that's come up.
So for me, it's the Heartbreak Chef.
Yes,
he's been on our radar for a while. We haven't had a chance to eat some of that food, so I wanna get the Heartbreak Chef. I remember reading an article. This again was on BlogTO, and he was saying that he was lucky that the way he created his restaurant, it was made for takeout only anyway. And so, the lack of dine-in or the restriction on dine-in didn't seem to affect him that much. So we're lucky that we had him. And if you want to see a good Instagram profile, check out the Heartbreak Chef. I'll tell you that.
That is right.
Well, you know what? We've talked about our favorite foods, and they're all our favorite foods, but our top favorite foods from season 1, and we're looking forward to just a really delicious season 2 coming up. And especially for next time. And so, that is it for this week's episode of Santos Brothers Eats. We invite you to come back for next time. Isn't that right, Jeff?
That is right. I remember this quote from Julia Child: "People who love to eat are always the best people."
And that, of course, includes my brother, Chef Jeff Santos. And I'm his brother, Kenny Santos, and you as well, if you love to eat food worth mentioning. Thanks a lot, everybody.
All right, take care.
All right.
You've been listening to the Santos Brothers Eat.
Food worth mentioning.
I might have that next time I go there.
Like, it's so good. It's so good.